everyone, it's holiday time, and it is also Humpday Happy Hour with Dentists in the Know. We are your backstage pass for current trends, politics, and education in the dental world. We are live, and we are on our second show tonight. We've got something very special coming to you about the 12 days of Christmas. Watch closely because I think you'll get a little chuckle out of it. And it is also Jennifer Bell's birthday, which I could not be more excited about. As you know, she is absolutely the thread that keeps us together here at Dentist in the Know. So anyway, strap your boots on because we have Anne Duffy tonight. She's a hygienist. She's a visionary CEO. And she has been empowering women in dentistry for a while now. And this show is sponsored by our great new educational partner, Mango. So you're going to hear a lot about them. We got a lot of great stuff to talk about. In the meanwhile, you know the routine. I'm going to bring on my best friends in the world. We are all dentists. We are all business owners, and we are all educators, and our job is to bring all of you in the know. So here come my friends, I hope, JB and Jennifer Bell and Chad Duplantis. How you doing, my homies? How 90s, my homies?
My homies. What's up,
hey,
everybody?
How you doing, homie?
How many more days of work do you have left?
Finish for the week.
Do you have to go in next week? You're going to go in for a couple
Yes.
days, deliver some appliances.
And Friday of next week, we have a full day of deliveries for sleep appliances, TMJ appliances, and everybody who needed to get it in before the end of the year.
Well, that's what we do, right? That's pays the bills.
JB, happy birthday. Do the news.
Thank you. Well, for my birthday news, it's time to talk about a few things before we roll into the holiday season. First, there was a dentist. We actually mentioned this about a year ago, but there was a dentist out of California who had been charged with fraud with the MBA. Well, that case has finally been settled. And Dr. Wahab of Beverly Hills will be finding himself in prison for 3 years. He's also been asked to pay back $458,000. He's asked to forfeit $458,000 and then pay back restitution for another $1.1 million. Now, why was he charged? Well, he had figured out an elaborate scheme with other MBA players to charge their dental and medical benefits card for fraudulent activity. And so they were ringing up over the course of a year. He provided fake invoices for dental services that were not rendered to the plan that provides benefits to current and former MBA players. The former MBA players would then allegedly submit the invoices to the plan for reimbursement. So I guess, this has not been his best holiday season. And I'm sure, at least if for no other benefit, the case is now put to rest. He has now been fined and also will serve time. And maybe everybody can move on from that. Another interesting story that was out in the U.S. News and World Report today was a study that came out recently, actually was published in JAMA, Internal Medicine, about the advantages of brushing your teeth when in the ICU. They did a study of patients that had been admitted into the ICU and found that those who routinely brushed their teeth during their stay had a decreased risk for pneumonia. Now, for most of us watching today, because we're mostly in the dental community, this probably comes to no surprise. But the observation from the medical team was quite shocking. And they said, for something so relatively inexpensive and easy to do could be such a life-saving habit for patients who are routinely brushing their teeth when admitted into the ICU. So maybe we'll start to see some increased awareness about oral health benefit for systemic well-being. maybe before we encounter these more advanced hospitalizations. But if nothing else, providing additional opportunities for patients to stay healthy in the oral cavity while they're in the ICU. And maybe they will provide them, the facilities, the capability, they'll prioritize oral health. I'd love to see that happen in the geriatric population and nursing homes as well. So maybe this will be a nice little data point for a leap into advanced oral health care for folks who are hospitalized or in long-term care. The last story we posted on our Facebook page this week had to do with this new law coming through the IRS about small businesses who will now need to register with the IRS. The law will go into effect January 1 of 2024. Unfortunately, what we have now learned is that there is little to no information relating to this new law. Maybe we have a cart before the horse scenario. The law goes into effect of January 1. For those who have been in business prior to January 1, 2024, you will have 1 year to become compliant with the IRS. This really is legislation targeting small business owners specifically, which is most of the dental community. You'll have to register your entity, and they are specifically looking for different nuances within the business structures. So be sure to keep your accountant and your attorney well within your reach so that you can discuss this as it sort of materializes over the next year. If you're thinking about forming a business over the year of 2024, you might want to think about this law and how it will impact you. According to the law in its current form, you will have 90 days to become compliant with the requirement to file with the IRS. To date, there is no paperwork available, and no attorney or accountant is really fully prepared to provide you advice. In fact, I talked to my own accountant, and she said the State Board of North Carolina hasn't actually decided if they're allowed to make any comment because no one's really sure who has jurisdiction over the law. So it could be your accountant, it could be your attorney. Just like the government, to give us some things to worry about before they've actually figured it all out. And with that, that's the news.
We have such a great guest. And again, I want to remind everyone that Mango has sponsored this show today. And we're so thankful for our new educational partner. But we are even more thankful for our guest tonight. And Chad, would you introduce her?
I will. I'm actually honored to introduce her. I've never met Anne. I've heard so many wonderful things about her. She's one of these people that you see kind of all over the place. And, I don't want to make the reference to Where's Waldo, but, let's just throw out here, where's Anne and who's Anne? I've seen and I've heard that she is, I know of Dental Entrepreneur Media, but Anne is the visionary CEO and founder behind Dental Entrepreneur Media. And it's a platform that was designed to revolutionize the dental profession. It's been around since 1998. But in 2016, Anne founded Dental Entrepreneur Women, or DO. And I've been very intrigued by this DO group because everybody's like, I'm going to the DO thing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I want to know what the hell DO is. But Anne is very into building the community of female dental entrepreneurs who are trailblazers in their field and making a real difference in the world. I know several people who have attended these conferences, and I have utmost respect for all of them. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce Anne Duffy, the founder and CEO of Dental Entrepreneur Media and Dental Entrepreneur Women. So
Cheers.
Those are a lot of big words, and that's not my strong suit, Anne.
Oh my gosh,
Definitely
you did
not.
that so well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
Welcome.
What a lovely, thank you. Thank you so much. I want to start by saying happy birthday, Jennifer.
Oh,
I'm so
thanks.
excited that I get to spend your birthday with you. It's a treat for me and an honor to know you on your birthday night.
Same.
And
Thank you.
you're a DO for sure, because most DOs on their birthday, they might take off, but you got to do, right, girl? You just
I
like,
know.
I'm in it.
Yeah,
I'm in it.
you're not wrong. Everybody has asked me today, what are you doing for your birthday? I was like, well, It's Wednesday, and they know if I say Wednesday, we're podcasting and recording and doing dinks. So this is what it
No.
is.
It's
So
Happy
she's
to
a
be
big
here.
For those of you that didn't see this, the banter between you before we even start rolling is just precious. You're a great trio.
So
I
what
would
you're
say.
saying is we're genuine. We're the same
Yeah.
on and off the
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like I've known you my whole life. It's so fun.
Yeah, same.
we have a lot of fun. We
Yeah.
try to, and it's easy when we have a good show lined up, which we do tonight. So
Yes, you do.
yeah.
Well, it's so funny because you talk about but you guys are dudes, right? So because Dental Entrepreneur Woman was founded, I don't know, 7 years ago. A good friend of mine, I've had Dental Entrepreneur. I think you guys even know this. I've had Dental Entrepreneur magazine since 1998, and the guy that started it brought me on to sell advertising. And I was a hygienist. I just retired after 46 years of clinical.
Oh, awesome.
And, yeah. I love clinical hygiene.
No, shut up. No.
Yeah.
No.
No way.
No way.
And so I was doing 5
The
hours a
math
week.
does not add up here.
Yeah.
We have video. Sorry.
Oh my God. Well, I was young. I was very young when I went to college. I
were
couldn't
you, like,
even
4?
drink when I went to college.
Yeah.
So,
She's Doogie
Yeah.
Howser.
yeah, there you go. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. I'm going to use that.
Oh, you
This is
should
gonna be
use
fun.
that.
I'm going to be able to take away a few things.
Yeah.
So I had that magazine, and I bought it from him because he was a journalist and had no passion for dentistry. So he was going to quit, and I'm like, oh, I'll just buy it from you. How hard could it be? And so I bought it, and then I was publishing that and doing a couple other side gigs along with hygiene, and mostly because my husband. I took 7 state boards before I got to North Carolina because I followed his career. We met in college, and I followed his career all around. He was in the chemical industry, he still is, and got to North Carolina, to Charlotte, North Carolina, right? It's so beautiful here, isn't it? Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Jen, I can't believe you're in North Carolina. But we got here, and he decided to quit his job and start his own business. And that's when we were like, oh, shoot. And we were actually second wind about a year and a half in because I thought he'd be a millionaire, and I was excited about that. But it turned out that we were broke, and I had to get another side gig, or somebody has to take the kids to soccer, right? And so he was traveling. I had a couple side gigs, and one of them was Dental Entrepreneur. So I sold ads, bought it from him, and then fast forward to, just on a call with a good friend in marketing I loved, and she picked it up. She was crying, and I'm like, well, what's wrong? What's wrong? And she goes, oh my God, I was just in my 360 review. My boss wrote that my smile was insincere and I looked like I was plotting something. And she was crying hysterically. And I'm like, that's insane. You are the most sincere person I know. Damn it. I'm just going to start something to highlight women in dentistry because women in dentistry are amazing. They're gorgeous. They're beautiful inside and out. They're caring. They love beauty. They love each other. It's just a beautiful thing. And we needed to be highlighted. And so that's how I started it. And I was on the porch with Tom, my hubby, that afternoon. And I'm like, well, I'll just call it Dental Entrepreneur Woman. I mean, I've got Dental Entrepreneur. I'll just start another magazine for women in dentistry. And it has turned into this like crazy, amazing movement of good people finding good people and good dues find good dues. And, it's been really a beautiful thing. So that's what we're all. I wanted to bring love, and I wanted to bring strengths because I'm really into strength finders. It's one of those big things for me in my life, to dentistry, and that was just a simple thing. And here we are.
So I love what you've done with this because you've created a very catchy logo. I'm sorry, I know that sounds simple, but everything revolves around the brand that you've created, and the brand is you. I mean, you created that, but the logo's amazing. And to me, this is really the first time I'm truly learning of it because I'm not a woman, but I have seen, all these people about who's going to do, who's doing this, who's doing that. So do you have one annual conference a year, or are there more, or how does that work?
Well,
Something was recent, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, we just had our fifth annual retreat. And we sold out about 5 weeks before, so we were really
I
happy about that. And just it was lovely. And we do one a year, but then we do meetups. I mean, there's dudes everywhere. I mean, Jen, when you get to know us, and you're a dude. I mean, you just it's just such a great group, and you guys, like I said, are dudes. So we have little pop-ups, Chicago in winter. I mean, every meeting there's a bunch of us, and we just keep gathering more of them. It's like it's like a herd.
That's great.
Roam around the country.
Yeah, exactly.
Celebrate women, and we love the guys. Like you guys, the dude is a man that supports a woman in dentistry. And so, we love our dudes. I mean, like the whole thing with dentistry, it's like, oh, all those old white guys are leading it. But I love old white guys. I'm married to one for 48 years. He's just a great guy. And,
Another
so we couldn't do
shocker.
it without you.
48 years married.
Yes.
Yeah. Life's kept you young.
Again,
Well,
married at 4 when she
Yeah.
started practicing hygiene.
Yeah.
No, you guys, honestly, it's the filters on this StreamYard. I mean, seriously, I don't look this good in person. This is a facade, but it's fun.
So how many people do you have in do? Do you have it as a structured organization? A lot. And what's the makeup? Is it mainly hygienists, dentists, auxiliary members? Is it split or how does it work?
Yeah, that's a good question, Chad. I mean, honestly, it was because of all my side gigs, I knew women in all different career paths in dentistry. So I had the biggest team of female dental professionals at OxyFresh, which is a network marketing company that sold toothpaste and mouth rinse a long time ago. And through all the different things that I was doing, I just love women, and the women. That's my niche. And so I was like, well, and it was my good friend in dentistry. So it was just one of those things. So it's honestly, do is really about women. You just happen to be in dentistry, or you may have been in dentistry at one time. One of my favorite dues is a dear friend and a coach of mine over my life. And she's a hygienist. She had her own temp agency, went to Switzerland and practiced, came back. And then she's the top interior designer for Haverty's in the country. So she's a do. She's a dental entrepreneur woman. And my belief is that all women are entrepreneurial. I mean, you guys are, we love the guys, like I said, but you guys are a little bit more laser focused. I'm sure, Jen, I don't know. You probably have a lot on your shoulders. Just how many plates do you spin? No offense, guys, but I mean,
too many.
Really. How many?
No, well, we agree. Too many.
Oh, there you go.
All of us will admit, you give a guy 3 jobs, and I hate to generalize, but this seems to be the truth. You give a guy 3 jobs, and he's like, I don't know what to do. Just give me something to do, and I'll do it. I don't feel like that we are able to delegate as well. I don't feel like we are able to
multitask.
Yeah. I don't think we're able to appreciate the ability to multitask as well at all, because we get a couple of tasks and we're just, I don't know what to do. Who am I going to give this to? What am I going to do? And I can tell you, JB is the glue that for our group that is able to really take those extra tasks on. And, where Chad and I are just like, oh my God, I've got 2 other things that we on my agenda. There's no way I can
15 plates in the air. She's wearing high heels. And
Yeah.
And
have the lipstick on,
right.
Yeah, exactly. And it's gorgeous doing it. Oh, I love it.
And after work, she wears roller skates at Sonic. So, I mean, she's juggling many hats.
That's super cool.
No. And tell me a little bit. So as you're spending time with dental entrepreneurs and dental entrepreneurs who are women, what are some of the struggles, maybe specifically to women, but just in general, that you're seeing in the profession? And, when they're in a collective group together, what are some of the common struggles that seem like we're all sort of in the same trench?
Well, I can really speak more about the women because it's so
Yeah.
much more of a community, Jen, because we do coffees. We call them coffees. Actually, we're calling them Do Connects now, but that we get like 30 women on a Zoom, and it's just conversation, really
Yeah.
similar to this. And I there's so many struggles with entrepreneurs. So you all know it. Look, we're entrepreneurs. You're all entrepreneurs. You own your own practices. It's a freaking roller coaster.
Yeah.
And especially what's happened with Do, I can speak. We've attracted women that have like a little bit of a side gig, like you. Like you're practicing. You've got the podcast now, so you're building another vertical in your life. And so there's a lot of nuances that go along with that, you guys. And it's nice to have a safe vault, if you will, to just talk about stuff that's happened. And it goes all over the place. I mean, you never know when we get together, like this morning, we had 30 women on, and you never know where it's going to go because what's top of mind, what happened today. And it's a wide range. I think knowing one's worth and leadership skills is a really big dilemma for our profession, because they're taught clinically very well, and business is not easy, and yet you want to own your own practice. I mean, I like the DSO. I think it's a good model for certain people, and I'm out of school is all of those things. And interesting, dental entrepreneur, when I first started, it was business beyond the classroom. And so it was strictly for the private practitioner. And then at that point, all DSOs were bad. I'm like, oh my God, they're terrible. And, that's not really, it can't be true, because there's some good DSOs and not so good DSOs, and good practitioners, not good practitioners. So I think, it's just, I really feel like owning your own practice is a beautiful way to go, because it does stretch all your muscles, but you have to be able to ask for help, and you've got to delegate, and you can't do it all on your own.
So, and let's talk to all of the entrepreneurs out there. And you have a strong tie with Mango, who is one of our educational partners. And I would love to hear your perspective on how that fits in with what you advocate for entrepreneurs in dentistry.
Well, first of all, dentistry is a relationship business. And I think that we buy from people we like and that we believe in, and they have a good culture. And I know Rich May, and I just absolutely adore him. He is one of the nicest guys. Just, you can trust him. I think if I was drowning in the ocean in Turks and Caicos, he would come save me. He's that kind of guy. And so I know that about him. And then when I hear what he's doing with Mango, I mean, the product, when he does a presentation, he did a presentation for us. And I was like, that is so cool. And it's like a no-brainer. Everybody should have that. And so I think that that's what cements it, though. I mean, it's just having the relationships, and I don't know that much about Mango, because honestly, Jeff, I'm actually out of clinical now. And so I kind of have left that, but all I know is when I saw his presentation, I was like, that's a good idea. And I like the idea that they always pick the phone up, and they've got great customer service. They seem to have great reviews. Everybody that I know that uses Mango, I like, and I think are good people. And so that's the kind of, I think they have mastered referral marketing. And so I'll work with somebody like that and find out about the product. And I know that it's backed up by honesty and integrity.
You guys both use them, right?
I do. And I was just going to say to Anne, I love the honesty. I mean, not being in clinical dentistry, I get it. And, for me with Mango, I was looking for a solution. And, there's other solutions out there that quite honestly are at a much higher price point, and they satisfy numerous needs. Mango satisfies the needs that we had in our office. And you're right, they do pick up the phone. They are great customer service. They provide a very good service. The quality of the technology that they incorporate in your office is outstanding. I personally don't know Richard very well, but I've heard nothing but great things about him. We've just briefly spoken back and forth through messaging, but one of the things that I would say about Mango is they support dentistry in general,
Yeah.
and they support the private practitioner. They support the influencers. They support the podcasts such as ours. They want to get their name out there, but they want to show their support in the profession. And I think that that's really fantastic. So, I think there's nothing better that I could say. I mean, they've just been fantastic to us.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, I think, because like when like Manal's having her CE on the beach, which I love that. And we go, that's when I really got to know them. You build this relationship and, again, you get to know people. They want you to succeed. I mean, that's what I love about our industry. Like Mango wants your practice to succeed. They will do anything they can in their toolbox to help you have it be a win. And that's who you want to work with, because they're a partner more than just trying to sell you something.
So if I'm, you're talking about the CE and everything like that. If I'm interested in what could I expect by going to one of your conferences? I mean, or to one of your meetings? What type of CE would I receive, and who do you have that comes to these CEs and provides the presentations and whatnot for your attendees?
Well, that's a very good question. We have no CE. We do not. We don't offer it. Honestly, back to the original thought, this is really just about women, and it's a women's retreat. So it's more. I think I got some. Got a lot of that in when I was in the OxyFresh business. It was the leadership company, and so that was good training, and I felt it was a missing in dentistry. So I really wanted to bring something like personal development, success, all the different things. So what you'll find are a lot of our dues are speakers. I mean, everyone turns out to be pretty much a KOL in our organization. And so lots of speakers. So we just try to find something that women want to hear about. And then we break up into discussion. Because if you bring, and we have our retreat in September of 24, we're going to have 220. We have seats for 220 women, and you bring 220 women like JB and all the people that in the industry that you think are just amazing. You bring them all together, you're going to have some magic that's going to take off from that, and that speaks to the collaboration that's happening, and and women not just mentoring, but what we need is women advocating for each other. And that's what we do and do. Everybody's all for one for all, no scarcity mentality. We try to live by the principles. We've got a couple of 10 principles, and we try to live by them. I mean, I'm not all that good at it. I try really hard, but don't think I'm like, I don't know. I do not have a halo over my head.
So that even speaks louder. So you said how many? 220 seats?
Yes.
220 seats, no CE. You're going to fill it. And this is rah, let's go. Let's kick some butt in dentistry or beyond. I think it speaks louder than CE. If you can put 220 butts in seats and have, it sounds like an inspirational messaging and an empowering messaging. Is that fair?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think, but it's not necessarily the materials as much as just being with each other. Like I said, I mean, you just get good people in a room and and we share some of our topics are hard. I mean, we dive pretty deep.
I'd love to hear some of them. Did you mind sharing some of the topics?
No, we had, in the last one we had, oh golly. I'll tell you the panels, I can tell you for sure, because the titles would escape me. You can go online and find what we did, but an empowerment panel, women's empowerment panel, a mind, body, spirit panel, a business panel. We had Nikita, we brought in a speaker from the Baltimore area, Nikita Thigpen, talking about intimacy in the boardroom and just how we collaborate. And that was really, she was outside of dentistry, just beautiful speaker. Dr. Sonia Chopra spoke. She's fabulous. And she just, not anything clinical, but just about life and how you navigate. And JB, you would have loved it. Just talking about when she first started her practice and just some of the things that were said about her and the situations that she was in and the struggles that she had and how she overcame those. It reminds me, we're talking about Taylor Swift today, and like apparently, we know she's overcome a couple of things too in her life, right? So it says that all women are, kind of the same, but we still have a long road to go. That's what I've learned from starting Do, and I feel like I thought we were further ahead, and I feel like we do have a long way to go. We just can't stop supporting each other. And whether it's men, women, or whatever, I think in dentistry, the profession needs us to come together.
That's awesome. I mean, I think that's something that really needs to be spoken in our profession. I think, I love what you're doing, and I love what you're bringing to the forefront. And who do you feel is obviously it's women, but who would you be speaking to if you were trying to get somebody to come to a conference? I mean, are you speaking to somebody that's struggling? Are you speaking to somebody that's looking to be better? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm not trying to ask a difficult question.
No, it's not difficult. I mean, honestly, it's just, who am I looking for? I'm not really looking for anything. I just hope everybody, when anyone finds us, they're like, where have you been? We're just here with open arms. Come sit at our table, check us out. We're not rocket scientists or anything. We're just like kind of getting together and having conversations, and it's real talk. And then it's kind of, it is a vault, so to speak. It's just a community. I think, especially when you're an entrepreneur, it's lonely. And whether you are, because you can't tell everybody everything. And like, oh my God, I just love my husband so much. Okay. But like when we're talking at night, he's kind of listening to me when he's reading the Wall Street Journal and watching ESPN and looking at his iPad, kind of. When you're in a group of people with like-mindedness, like a dental group, men and women, and then they're good people, and you start sharing things, you're not alone. And you can tell each other some things that are going to be taken with grace. And like one of our principles is give people the benefit of the doubt, no judging, honor people in their absence, no gossiping. I mean, those are big things that, we try to accomplish. And I'm just looking for anybody I don't have any judgment on who comes in. If they want to sit, like I said, they'll come and sit. They might have cocktails, maybe the first course. And if they don't stay for dessert, that's okay. We'll be open for business, next time around. So, it's just gathering people, good people.
I think that's so important because in our profession, you're right, it can be lonely, and having that fellowship and opportunity to be vulnerable. I mean, that's how Jeff and I met, really, was in organized dentistry as well. And having those moments together in fellowship to sort of be vulnerable about challenges in the practice and life in general, and some of the things that we were going to, but also aspirational, in that fellowship time as well. It can be just as much about what you're going through, or maybe what you hope to achieve. And you've had these crazy ideas and you want to sort of bounce it off someone else and say, hey, am I crazy to be thinking that I could be doing this, or I should be considering something different? Or, what was your experience? And I'm sure you experience a lot of that in those types of forums with your groups, that they have a lot. They probably go home very encouraged and motivated and ready to go.
Like, I think we push each other. It's like you grab, and it's funny, you guys were talking about mentors and who's the mentee, but I'm mentored by these young gals that are coming in.
Yeah.
The 30-year-olds, oh my God, they are so awesome. And they mentor me. And then, it kind of goes back and forth, but we're all hanging on each other and bringing us up the ladder. And what is your dream? You can do it. Let's do it. You can do it. And so, principle number 2, just do it. But it's I'm glad you said that, Jen, because it's about growing and doing. And then back to the strengths thing, guys. I love that because I know what my strengths are. I took this course like 14 years ago. It changed my life. I quit talking to my husband saying, go back to corporate, please. I'm such a good corporate wife. But he's an entrepreneur. So, okay. I had to realize that those are his gifts. He's good at it. And so we should all, really know what we're good at, love that part of ourselves, and then just really try to maximize it and make the best of it. And so that talent that we have, if we build it into a strength, there's no stopping any of us for what we can do in our dreams of, what they are.
Do you have any stories that you can tell of people that have left the retreat with a different mindset and maybe like they're going to change something in their life? That's really, anything that you'd want to share? And I'm thinking of something in particular, and I'll share it in a minute. But
I'll share. Because there's honestly, Chad, there's so many. When we introduce Strength Finders, so we have Gallup coaches that come in, and they realize that, oh my gosh, they've got this talent that was God-given, right? It's because it's that deep about it. And everyone thought I just talked all the time. And, hey, after all, that's one of my top talents, right? So, I'm sorry, I talk too much, but I'm going to bring in, that's one of my top talents. I'm going to bring in a lot of people together and have do something. So when you realize that you're in the lane of leaning into your strengths, your life changes, because then you realize that you're meant for something more, and that it's not an annoyance, that this is actually something to lean into and pursue. Your point too, Jen, about growing.
Yeah.
And where I was headed was, I'm sure you know Laura Brenner. Does that
I love Laura Brenner.
Yeah. When I think of this, I think of people who are, dentists within the dental profession or dental hygienist or whatever, but have realized that they need a change in their life and actually gone out and done something. And so, the whole time you're talking about this, I'm thinking of Laura and what she's done and how beautiful it is and how she's really inspiring people. So that's the story I'm looking for. Do you see that where people come in and they make it just a complete pivot just because they've realized that maybe dentistry is not for them, or maybe dentistry is for them, but they want to go in a different direction,
Well, I do see that. I've seen a little bit of that. I've actually seen more of that. They found what they love and they do more of that.
There you go.
And so Laura and I talked about this. It's really interesting. I did a podcast with her. She was on my podcast, and I just adore her. And I was like, I've always told everybody, because I practiced for 46 years. And so doing them, publishing the magazines and all the things I've done, I liked being in clinical because it gave me my chops. If you're out of it totally, you don't even know what's going on if you're not really in the trenches. So that really helped me. So I'm always telling everybody that wants to just like quit dentistry, don't quit, just keep, do one day a week and keep your, clinical skills up. And Laura said, Anne, some people just don't like it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it was like, that was like a light bulb that went on for me. And that just to say, okay, oh, you really don't like it, listen to them. And then you have my blessing, go switch gears, pivot all the way. So there are women in dentistry that are not in clinical anymore. Obviously they go here and they find collaborators and do all those things also. And they find something else that they can do that's not actually in the operatory 4 days a week. Because I think that's what Laura's about too, is, we are more than one dimension. But a lot of those epiphanies happen. Yes.
That's what I want to hear. It's not necessarily that dentistry is not for them, but I loved what you said about how they get there and if you're helping people find what they love in their profession, that's what's most important, because a lot of people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to zone in on what they like. And one of the biggest things that I did in my profession in my career is that I just stopped doing the things that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And it made life a lot easier. I freaking hate endo. I hate it. I thought I wanted to be an endodontist at one point in time. No, I hate it. And, so I stopped doing it. And I don't do a lot of extractions. I virtually stopped that. If it's flapping in the breeze and I could take it out with my fingers, I'm going to take it out. But other than that, it's going somewhere else. And
Yeah.
so that's the thing, is that you've got to, as long as you're helping people find what their passion is, that's very, very important. And I love that you're helping people do that and pointing them.
And Chad, the other thing you said that I think we help each other when you come together is to give people the courage to make that change and the courage to commit to something different. Because, you hear, like, if you go to a couple coaches, oh no, you got to be doing everything in dentistry, you keep it all in-house, all that stuff. I mean, that takes a lot of courage and self-confidence to make that step. I'm going to send that out. I'm going to do this. So I think that comes sometimes. And I love that you guys met in organized dentistry, because I do believe in that organized dentistry and the community that you build it. And I want to put a shout out to the meetings and just the different organizations. You've got to find your people.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot.
Well, and it allows you to both of your points about, where do you go from here? I mean, sometimes you just want to articulate it out loud. Like, you've been thinking it up here for a while and you don't know how it's going to be received, but you sort of want to articulate it to start figuring out if this is actually a potential next step or a future path for you. And it could be leaving dentistry altogether because, unfortunately, you say, and you reference like doing all this testing to find your gifts. I don't think enough young people really do all that before they choose these lifelong careers.
Right.
And then they get into these jobs that they either don't have the personality fit for, the technical acumen, or it's just
or the hands.
or the hands. Like, it's just not a good fit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they've now spent all this money and like, there's a lot of shame, I think, wrapped around, changing your mind on your career path. But I think as we make it more comfortable for people to explore side gigs with dentistry, to explore, expanding out, like, take your dental knowledge and then give it a life on its own that's healthy and or grow within dentistry and, build multiple practices and whatever it is that you envision that you want, or just build your own little small fee for service with it, 2-3 people in there, and you do that for 25 years and you're really content. Like, it's having that community that allows you to articulate your vision and then having some possibility of executing it. And I think that's really healthy for most individuals, not just women, but particularly women, because they need safe places. But I think it's healthy for all of us to have that time.
Yeah, I do too. I didn't even know that was possible until I was like 42 is when I actually joined OxyFresh.
I'm 42 right now.
Really?
No.
Oh, you look like
I will be.
Must be the
filters
Zoom or whatever.
The hair color.
Yeah.
The Botox.
But I got to throw this in here. So I think we've hit on something really big, which is that when we go through dental school or through hygiene school or whatever it is, all of these expectations are thrown on us, and social media does not help that. So there's all these things that we're supposed to be when we're in practice. Like right now, the big theme is, grow into multiple practices and have all this going on so that you could be bought out by a DSO and become this multi-millionaire. There are so many pressures put on us as we enter this profession. And I think the most important message that I've heard from tonight is that there are people like you, Anne, like the Do Group, like Laura Brenner Studholm, like Jennifer Bell, who are there to say, listen, there are a lot of ways to do this. Happiness has to figure into it. Family life has to figure into it. Entrepreneurship has to figure into it. If that's something that you're interested in, everybody has to make their own path. And so I congratulate you, Anne, for offering a channel for people to understand that everyone doesn't have to follow the same path to achieve success. And success is defined very differently for a lot of people. So I really appreciate your message, but tell everyone out there, how can they become a dude? How can they learn more from you?
Or a dude.
Or dude.
Or a dude.
Or dude. Well, I haven't made the list for the dudes. That's probably, I have about 80. So I you guys would be 81 and 82. So just remember. Jen, remember 81, 82.
Got it.
Chad, you're on top. Jeff, you're below. Sorry, Jeff, but that's okay. 82 is good. And to become a do, all you have to do is go to DEW.life. And that's our website. And it's DEW stands for Dental Entrepreneur Woman. And it's .life, DEW.life. And then join. We're really affordable. And we've got a lot of member benefits. You can write anytime you'd like, any under our members. And Jen, I'd love you to write an article for us. I'd love you to do that. We usually start with someone's blog and introduce them. And then we pitch an idea for one of the publications, because we publish each issue, each edition, Dental Entrepreneur, the Future of Dentistry, and Dental Entrepreneur Woman, 4 times a year. So you guys can all write for us. And that gives you some expert status and helps get your name out there. I'd love to do that and publish you guys and your stories, because I didn't get to hear about how you got where you are. So that's what we want to tell other people. It gives them inspiration. Look, if you guys can do it, right?
Anyone can do it.
There you go.
I'm going to throw something out there. I know that you're dental entrepreneur women, but I've been talking about Laura. I'm going to also mention another good friend of ours. Have you ever heard of Dr. Tim Bisga?
Oh, I don't think so.
Tim does a great program, and everybody that sees it loves it. He does kind of this personality profiling where he takes the whole room and basically tells them to split based upon their profile and brings everybody back together. I think that would be something wonderful for one of your retreats. And it just, one of the things you were talking about, I was like, oh, Tim's program would fit so well into this. He's just such an energetic and amazing speaker. And I think that really just, if you get the opportunity, we can certainly point you in the direction of hearing what he does, but everybody who has seen it loves it. And I think it really fits into what you're doing, just to help people promote themselves and promote themselves within their profession. And so thank you.
That would be great. I'd love to meet him. I think my goal is for people to actually love their profession and their career. I don't even care what it is, but we spend a lot of time building it. You'd like to see that when, at the end of it. And of course, dues don't retire. That's principle number 9. But at the end of it, you can look back and think that was a great ride. Well,
I thank you. And we've kind of swallowed this hour up pretty quickly. When is your next due retreat?
Our next due retreat is September, and thanks for asking, September 26th through September 28th, half day on the 28th in 2024. And it's in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, and close to home.
It's close to home. Yep. And everyone in North Carolina should definitely be here for sure. And then people will be flying in from all over the world. So we'd love to invite you, Jennifer, to the retreat. And then you guys, I'm going to have a dudes barn dance someday. So you'll be invited. It'll be fun.
Awesome.
Sound good?
Well,
that sounds perfect.
That sounds wonderful. And thank you so much for being here tonight. And thank you to Mango for partnering with us on the show. Richard William May, you got a great shout out, and you got a fan base here. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Didn't you have something, Anne?
Yeah, this is from Mango. I got this from Mango today, and it's a whole box of cookies. I just want to say thank you, Mango. How did
Yeah.
you know this is what I wanted for Christmas? I'm so
Oh,
excited.
that's
That's the
great.
kind of partner they are. This is the kind of partner that they are. And yeah, shout out to Rich and Lexi. I'll see those guys this summer, I'm sure, at on the beach. And I'm honored that you asked me to be on this tonight. I'm honored to know you. I can't believe we have not really gotten to know each other before
Oh,
now,
we
but
will.
now
We
we
won't be
do. So
strangers
now we're
now.
friends.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to reach out and have you guys write for us and continue our relationship. So wishing you all the best in 2024. And thanks for having me.
And thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Thank you, Anne.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful. And thanks, everybody. I think Anne's platform really shows us that there's joy both inside and outside of dentistry. And it all starts with if you're a dental professional, just go to a do retreat and find out where your joy is. So thank you all very much for being here. And we'll see you all next week.
Merry Christmas.
night.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas. Happy birthday, Jen.
Thanks.
And happy birthday,
All
JB.
right, you guys. Thank you.
And that wraps up another podcast for Dentists in the Know. On behalf of Dr. Jennifer Bell, Dr. Chad Duplantis, and myself, remember that we've got a great profession, so let's make it a great day, Dinks.